Well, I am back to share the opening page for my December daily. And if you watched earlier in this month, you would have seen the days that I covered. Sorry for the reflection, but I want to show you my days as they are in the December daily album. I had days 19 through 25, and I actually did a bonus day. So the 19th will be the last day before I go on Christmas break. So those will probably be something maybe from school. And then this one is really fun. It lifts up and over, and it has some recipes so that I can commemorate us baking Christmas cookies. And they're actually Santa cookies, hence the little Santa hat. And then this next day we'll probably do the decorating. You need to mix up the dough the day before and then set it in the refrigerator overnight. And then the 22nd, I believe, will be, I'm not sure, maybe going and looking at Christmas lights. I don't know if you can see the twinkling lights on the front of the houses, but I added strings of Christmas lights to those. Hopefully we have snow for a white Christmas, but this little tip-in can be moved any place in the album. And then I'll probably still be wrapping presents by the 23rd. That's typical. So I made this little lift up that I can have over the picture for wrapping presents. And I did see a really cute idea recently, and I might add like a piece of vellum to cover this and have some journaling on that. I think that would be cute. I had seen that idea on somebody else's December daily. So that's the 23rd. The 24th will be Christmas Eve, so we'll certainly be going to church, and I have room for pictures in there. And then this day, the 25th, I want you to notice these frames that I cut out in photo placeholders, because this piece is going to come into my opening page for my December daily. And then this was the inside of one of those frames. We are actually celebrating on the 26th with my side of the family. So I made sure to do the extra day because of celebrating with my family that day. So what we are going to work on now is the opening page for the December daily, and it will be this one that has no dividers at all. It's just the 6x8. So it wasn't cut straight as I probably would have cut if I knew I was going to use this piece, but I saved this piece, and in order to make it look really straight, I tried to make my lines appear that it's straight. Now, if you look very, very closely, you can see this get bigger down here. I think once I decorate it, that's not going to be that obvious, but I put paper on the back, and it pains me to use this beautiful paper like this and not have it showing, but I suppose I could put a frame around this and still use this on day one if I want. So this is going to be my opening page. Even though it's not perfectly square, if I put enough on it, I think I'll be fine. Now, Michelle sent out our items for this month, and I was holding out to receive that envelope of goodies, and as of November 30th, I still have not received it. So I went ahead and used her Cricut file and cut a few of the items. I might use some of these in some other pages too. I did not cut everything, but I selected a few and I changed up the colors for how I wanted to use them. So I have the words December daily, and I have popped them up with foam adhesive so that they are standing up some. And I'm going to bring in one of those darling nutcrackers. Now, I don't know about you, but my family, we have some nutcrackers throughout the house, and you probably can't tell real well, but there's a nutcracker right there as a candle stand, and we have some in a few other places. These will probably get covered up in the picture, but I have some throughout the house. And so I really like these nutcrackers, and they had like all of the stuff, right? All of the gold and glittery, and it would make for a perfect embellishment. So I figured I'd use one of these, and I started going through them, and I really did not like the pink. So that one I decided no. This one, I did not like this aqua color, Coastal Cabana, probably. It did not go with my album. This one I almost used, but it appears to be just off enough in color that I did not care for it. And this is the one that I ultimately decided, because it's a green, but it's a darker green. And I thought it had enough contrast with this that it showed up better. And this one just clashed a little bit. So these sentiments were switched. I ripped it up, glued it back down with the opposite one, and I'm going to use this one and have it say "Believe in Christmas." And since it was a gift tag, I just snipped off the tag part at the top. So let's go ahead and start sticking at least part of these down. So I like to use wet adhesive if I think I have to wiggle things into place, or if I'm gluing it down to a kind of a funny surface. And this gold, I didn't know, with it being kind of slick, how it would work. So I think this will work really well with this wet adhesive. And I'm not going to worry about being perfectly centered because this wasn't cut perfectly centered. I think I'm going to put this down, but I'm going to not glue all the way to the bottom because I'm going to put a picture in there. So I need to be able to tuck a picture up underneath the word daily. I do want to make sure this is some adhesive on that gold part. Okay, and there's enough room. I don't know if that's going to overlap the picture or not. And this guy will go on last. I think he needs a little bit more of those foam dots though, because it's just not holding on there as securely as I thought it might. Probably because I just don't have enough adhesive on it. So I'll add a few more of those little dots to the back. And that should be much better. I did add one over here. I think that'll be better. And I need to put my picture down. So I printed a picture on my Canon selfie, and I went ahead and added a border. I usually don't add a border, but I wanted to make sure the picture shrunk down enough that I could get just a little bit more of the photo in the part that I cut out. And I'm bringing in the branching out dies. That's the same thing I used to cut out these spots out of the gold. And I'm going to use that second from the largest. And I think that will give me enough of a border to still show a little bit of the green, but yet I can see quite a bit of the photo. You can see all, you know, some of these will be covered up, but you can see all of our stockings and like that. So let's make sure that we put this down. And the nice thing is, when I cut this picture out, it's going to be so adorable because that stitching, I don't think I want that glare from the TV on there. That stitching that is around this die will actually show up on the photo, which makes such a nice little detail. So we'll bring in the die cutting machine and just quickly run this one through. Like I said, that other brushed gold piece was already cut from doing my other pages. I like to put these at a slight angle when it has a real straight edge, like a square or a rectangle. It helps this whole thing keep from like making that loud snap at the end. Like it still snaps some, but not as harshly as if you go square on like this. And bring in that photo, and you're going to see that beautiful detail on the photo. Isn't that cool? Can you see the stitching? I love those kinds of details when I scrapbook. Okay, so let's add this on. And you can see some of the tree, some of the stockings, a little bit of everything. And I'm putting it on at the angle that matches up with those lines and the way that this was cut. So it's not perfectly square on the page, but it matches the cutouts and the design on the paper. And then once again, wet adhesive, because it's sticking to something really slick. It already has dimensionals on it, so I don't want to pop it up more. Okay, it needs to come over. I'm going to come up a little bit so that I can put something down here. Now, this says December daily, but it doesn't tell me the year. So I'm going to add this little banner and put the year on it. And I thought about tucking it. I may tuck it, I'm not sure. And the other thing I want to do, I was going to put this detail along the edge. Do you like the detail or not? I really feel like it's already busy enough. I don't need it. I love this print, and I have hardly any paper left because this is just scraps. I'll find a way to incorporate it someplace in the album though. So let's put some adhesive on here and tuck this guy in. I think I want to tuck him up under here. And we just need to write down that it is 2025. And there is my opening page for my December daily. Hopefully it's not too much glare. And I hope you've enjoyed this series with the Inspiration Collaboration Design Team. I will link in the description the playlist for the December daily videos. Have a Merry Christmas. Like, comment, share, and subscribe for more crafty inspiration.